Good morning. I'm Rachel Jackson with Yum Healing Arts, and I'm a yoga instructor. I'm an aromatherapist. I'm an aromatherapy educator and a massage therapist, and I'm here to talk to you today about my top 3 essential oils to help you trust yourself more. And you may be wondering, like, how does that work? So I'll leave you some links in the notes below to the science of the way in which aromatherapy and the olfactory system is deeply connected to our memory retention, and the way in which the olfactory system affects our emotions and can help to shift from there patterns and shift the vibration and shift the energy around situations. And when I say that essential oils help with memory retention, what I'm really talking about here is not just memorizing like content that you need to pass a test. I'm talking about creating new neural pathways and remembering those important pieces that are going to help you shift patterns, that are going to help you shift energy and vibration to create a positive change in your life and to trust yourself more, to embody who you are more, to become more and more yourself and more aligned with who you are becoming. So that's what I am concerned with, and that is what I love to talk about here in the art of aromatherapy and sacred aromatherapy. And I'm going to give you 3 oils that will help you shift into trusting yourself more, especially after those situations where you went into like a meeting or you got together with that friend, or you got together with that family member, and you were like, you knew it was going to be a challenging situation, and you watched that podcast, and you had this, like, you had your language, you wrote it down, you got like your notes and stuff, and then you get there, and somebody asks a question or throws you a comment, and all of a sudden, like, it blindsides you, and you're like, in that like freeze moment where suddenly you're blocked out from you've blacked out, you don't remember anything you were going to say. And I did a video on this for aromatherapy for social anxiety, and so I talk a little bit more about that in that video if you're interested. But the way in which anxiety can block us from our own brilliance and our own intelligence. So essential oils can be useful for that as well. But in these moments, it can be really frustrating afterwards, because we might walk out of that meeting and be like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I thought I had it figured out. And we can kind of go into this like shame, guilt, frustration, or even anger. Like, why couldn't I just remember what to say? Like, why couldn't I have stood up for myself more in that situation? Or why did I fall into that same dynamic, that same trigger, that same pattern, that same hook, whatever it was? And so those situations can kind of lead us into that mental emotional spiral of like down the rabbit hole of self-doubt and indecision, and that can kind of affect other things in our lives as after a situation like that. So I want to give you these oils to help you find that sense of resiliency and bounce back and trust yourself more, because first things first, it takes practice. So give yourself some compassion. Compassion is the bridge to growth. Give yourself some compassion and recognize, like, hey, I already have the awareness that this is a difficult situation for me. That awareness is the first step. So I'm going to shift the energy now. And as I do, I'm going to open my energy up to all of the ways in which now I can maybe attract in new ideas, new skills, new actions that I can take to do it differently next time. And it will just keep taking practice, because we can't grow, we can't get any better at anything unless we practice and we keep exposing ourselves to these situations and learning new skills and learning new language or new perspectives so that we can meet those situations with a little bit more grace. So, first oil I'm going to give to you for recovering from a situation like this, where maybe now you are struggling with the indecisiveness of self-doubt. Lemon essential oil. And I have this cold pressed lemon. You can get steam distilled for a little less photosensitivity. All citrus essential oils can create a photosensitivity on the skin. So wherever I put it, I'm just really aware that I want to keep that area of application covered and out of the sun for at least 24 hours, just in case. I don't have very sensitive skin, but some people have very sensitive skin. So you might put it on the soles of your feet, you might put it on your belly, the lower back, or if you know you're not going to be out in the sun, you could just put it on your chest just a little bit. And I always recommend doing a test patch first with any essential oil, just to see if I have any sensitivities to it. But lemon essential oil is one of those oils that really, it's a citrus that just cuts through the congestion. And it does this physically. Whatever it's doing physically, it's also doing energetically and emotionally. So it's one of those oils that helps bring in mental clarity. You can put it on your belly to help clear digestive congestion. It helps take some of the stress off of the liver, and it helps detox the liver, helps cool any heat in the liver, so any anger or irritability, it's going to help clear that. And it helps, on the same level, it's going to help clear and detox and shift you out of whatever experience is lingering in you or weighing on you about that experience that you had that's maybe still looping through the mind, where you're still unsettled, and you're still processing it. And it's good to process it, and at a certain point we want to keep clearing it out, making some space for some new energy. And lemon is just a wonderful one to help clear that out, cut through the mental emotional fog, get really clear, get out of that indecisiveness, and get back into a sense of trust and making that next best step, getting things moving forward. It's very uplifting. I could keep going and keep going about lemon oil, lemon essential oil. And if you don't have lemon essential oil, just put a little squeeze of lemon in your waters and just breathe it in, smell it as you start your day. The second oil that I will recommend for boosting that sense of trust in yourself again is clary sage. And clary sage helps you tap into your wisdom, your own intuition again, and helping you to get really clear about that. Because, after a situation like this, we might need to clear our energy a bit, clear the chakras, clear the energy from our nervous system. And you might use sage to clear a space, like white sage, when you burn it to clear a space. To indigenous people used all different varieties of sage and artemisias to help clear somebody's energy, or to clear the energy before ceremony, before important meetings. before healing work. So it's already been used, time tested by humans. Humans have a deep relationship with this all different varieties of sages, and clary sage especially. I really like this one for clearing my energy and tapping back into my own inner wisdom and getting really clear about that. It helps to open up the chest if the breathing has become tight. It can help with women's cycles and rhythms, any season of womanhood. It can help shift and harmonize those cycles and those hormones, which can help us tap into our own inner wisdom a little bit more and trust our rhythm again. So we're getting out of the river of influence and getting back into our own energy, tapping into that, getting really clear, getting out of indecisiveness. And the last oil I will use for trusting myself more again is laurel. And this is one of my favorite oils. I have a lot written about it. So if you go on my website and, click on the bay laurel essential oil, I have an excerpt from a paper I wrote. I wrote a paper on this one when I did my level 1 aromatherapy training. And I have a bay laurel bush outside the studio that I love to pick a leaf fresh from the bush. And honestly, that smell, when I smell the fresh essential oils come out of the leaf, is the ultimate smell, the ultimate aromatherapy for me for laurel. I like it honestly better than the essential oils. It's so fresh, so vibrant. So there's nothing really beats nature's aromatherapy, right? I mean, when it's really vibrant and fresh. I love laurel for energetic boundaries. And because after a situation like this, where maybe you're doubting yourself a little bit more, you're in that processing place where you're processing and integrating and maybe learning from your mistakes rather than, sinking into the wet blanket of shame and guilt. We want to move the energy enough so that we can learn from our mistakes and grow from the experience. But during that time, we might feel a little bit more vulnerable. And I like laurel for boosting my energetic boundaries. It literally helps to boost your immune system and offer your immune system protection against illness, viruses, bacterias. So I will diffuse this one if I feel myself on the edge of getting sick, or if I'm going to travel, anytime where I feel like I'm going to be very exposed or vulnerable to a lot of outside energy or influence or even illness. So I like this one for that. And just to contain my energy and just keep things protected during this vulnerable place. And it helps really, it helps to boost that fire. It works with that fire element of the heart and giving you the courage to take those next steps, to step out of this place of fear or self-doubt, and taking the courageous next step or action that is going to get you moving forward again, put you in that place of resiliency, and back into your most authentic self, giving your gifts in a way that's unique to you, that's authentic to you, and having the courage to do so, to do it in your own way. So I hope that these 3 oils help you trust yourself more, and you might even put them on every day after a situation like this where it's really weighing on you, where you feel it was difficult. put them on every day or diffuse them every day, and say that to yourself. Be like, I trust myself. I trust that I have the awareness to keep practicing. I trust that I have the awareness that to do it a little bit better the next time. I trust that I'm going to keep growing, that I'm going to keep learning, that I'm going to keep honoring myself. And I get to trust myself on this. I get to trust my intuition. I get to trust my own insights, my own direction that I'm going in. I get to trust my heart on this. Even if it makes no sense to somebody else, who cares? Do it your way. Trust yourself, because only you know the best next step for you.